Coach, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, guys. What a great weekend for all our players that got drafted. I want to congratulate every one of them. We are so proud of them.
You mentioned, Coach, that you view these guys as your sons. You kind of look at them as your own. I had to imagine you were a proud papa sitting in your office watching this on through the last 72 hours of the draft.
Very proud, and and humble, and very humble that their parents decided to trust us in our recruiting process and trust the things that we told them that hey, if we do these things and we do the work, this is going to be the result, and it happened. So I was very proud to see that come true.
Coach, it seems like you now can move forward and talk about, and I'm sure you've always sold this message, but now it's so glaring in the development. I mean, yeah, Burrow makes sense going number one with the records and numbers that he put up his senior season. Calevon was a 5-star coming out of Houston a couple of years ago, but when you look at Justin Jefferson and you look at Patrick Queen and you look at Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I mean, those guys were 2, 3-star players coming out of high school that really developed over the last 3 and 4 years. What's the message now when you talk to guys and talk to them about the development of what's going on in Baton Rouge?
That's always been a big part of our recruiting pitch. That we go 30 minutes an individual over here during practice, and T-Bob, that's unheard of in other schools. And we film our individuals. Our coaches are required to watch it with our players. We make cut-ups. We call it ongoing skill development, and you're going to get better. And part of the recruiting process is to trust our own evaluation in here. We got to trust what we see in the young man, whether he's a 2-star, a 3-star, a 5-star. That's all good in recruiting wars and stuff like that. But after that, that goes away. How good is the player? And one thing that really, really, with us, we decided as a staff that character is going to be at the top.
Yeah.
And if there's any red flags, we're not recruiting young men. And we brought in some great young men. And, Jack Marucci does a great character evaluation with our guys. And he came to me before the season. He says, Coach, we're going to have a great football team because this is our highest character football team. So, you can sell all the stuff that if you want to be a national champion, if you want to be a Heisman Trophy winner, you want to be the first player picked in the draft, come to LSU. And, I think our program was on the TV this weekend, and it's going to help us in recruiting.
Well, and that's where I wanted to go, Coach, because right now another commitment comes in. You look at the 2021 class, 7 commitments, 4 of those in the top 100, basically, but only 1 from the state of Louisiana. And I know when you first got the job, it was all about reestablishing the kind of walls around the state. You all have done that. What has been the national response to the brand after this year, after the draft? Like, what's it like calling kids from California or the Midwest or the Northeast?
Feel like they're next door to Bob. They love us. I mean, I talk to kids all over the country every day. And again, Louisiana is going to be our main recruiting ground because that's where most of our players come. And you know what? We're doing a great job in Louisiana. We have some 5-stars, some big-time players that I think we're going to get. So I feel good about the upcoming recruiting class. And we still haven't seen this recruiting class, which I feel is our best recruiting class. Eric Gilbert, Jacqueline Roy, Jaquilton Gorey, all these guys, B.J. Ujulari, Max Johnson, T.J. I think that we have a great, great recruiting class that our fans haven't seen yet.
So, Coach, one interesting thing about the draft is I think for some LSU fans, like it was such a celebration, and then they're done celebrating. They wake up, they're a little hungover, and they're like, "Oh wait, we have a lot of guys to replace." So, like, what was your reaction? When that's kind of called into focus because you had a record number of players drafted and 20 guys sign on to the NFL.
Yeah, obviously, getting to the top is a chore, but you're supposed to be at the top to be elite at LSU. Now, staying at the top to sustain. And it's the next man up there. You know it, T-Bob. And our guys are eager, man. We got some good young players that haven't had their chance to play. Miles Brennan, I think, is going to be an outstanding quarterback, along with the 2 other quarterbacks that we have. We got 3 great running backs. We got Jamar Chase coming back. We got Terrace Marshall coming back. We got Derek Gilbert that nobody's seen. Keyshawn Butte coming back. We got Darren Rosenthal at left tackle. I'm excited about our defense. We are loaded on the front seven. We got Derek Stingley, who probably, if you look at Derek Stingley and Jamar Chase, you throw them in this draft, it would have been something that nobody has ever seen. So we have a good nucleus of players. We have a good nucleus of coaches coming back. But again, we have to prove it. This team, this past team, had the want to. This team's got to gel. They got to have the want to. And one thing about our team last year, we got better as the season went on.
Yeah, for sure. It felt like Jamar Chase was in the draft. I mean, the first round, they were showing all those cornerbacks were coming off the board.
Yeah,
it was all the highlights against Chase, just eating them up, man. Coach, Ron Rivera said it. A conversation with you about Sadiq Charles was really soothing to him. Stephon Sullivan, Pete Carroll made the same comment late in the 7th round. A conversation with you was really helpful in them choosing Sullivan. Take us into to draft day as a head coach with so many prospects. How does that work?
You know, throughout the years, you create great relationships with coaches. Coaches is like a fraternity. And, you know, coaches are going to trust the coaches that are going to tell the truth. They know they call me, I'm going to tell them right down the middle. And our players know that too. Mm-hmm. And, you know, with Sadiq, he had some off-the-field problems. Sadiq is a good young man. He is not I love him. I recruited him. He came to work every day. He had some off-the-field problems that he's got to shake. I think he has shaken them. If Sadiq would have stayed, he would probably been a first or second round draft choice. So if he can do the right things, which I think he can, they got to steal in the fourth round. And I told that to Ron. I said, Ron, I had no problem with Sadiq on a daily basis. He was a great young man. He never gave me a bit of problems as far as football-wise and work ethic. Mm. And then with Stephon Sullivan, you know, Coach Garland called me about Stephon Sullivan after the Senior Bowl, and I told him Stephon was one of my favorite players. And to be honest, he was underused here. We couldn't know we play him at tight end. We were loaded at receiver. I think that after watching Coach Carroll's team play, I felt that Stephon Sullivan could be an outstanding player for him. And Pete competed at the end. I don't think he was going to go free agent with him. And then he traded, I think we traded one of his picks the next year to get him. And, you know, that helped us tie the record. And Coach Carroll was just excited as I was that we tied the record. So, you know, we got great relationships. And obviously, Coach Carroll is my mentor. They see something in these Tiger players. I think it was an excellent draft. Coach Carroll to pick Damian Lewis. And, you know, to me, you know, obviously having Joe being the first-round pick, but having Clyde Edwards-Helaire go to Kansas City Chiefs, man, that was a wonderful moment.
Yeah, there's a tweet out there and video out there of that being captured real time, of that selection being made, and Clyde's emotion just kind of running over him, and it is a very special scene to see the people around him and to see him get that chance with the Super Bowl champs. Coach, you were here last week on Off the Bench, and we always appreciate your time. Ed Orgeron joining us here on OTB, ESPN New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Alexandria. And you brought up Darren Rosenthal, and I think a lot of people were kind of excited to hear you mention his name as somebody who is taking care of his business and kind of developing into a leader for you. You mentioned Sadiq at left tackle. A lot of when you talk about Dare, it seems like you're gonna slide him in at that left tackle spot. Just talk about a little bit of his development going into next season.
You know, Dare was a defensive lineman coming out of Faraday High School. We always thought that he'd be a left tackle. It took a little time to move that, to get that D-line mentality out of him. And then all of a sudden, you know, these bowl practices are really good for young players.
Yeah.
T-Bob, you know it. That's where you see the next guy up starting to step up. Darren Rosenthal was kicking butt every day.
Wow.
I'm talking about grabbing people and throwing them to the ground. I think he's going to be a great left tackle. He had to leave the school for off-the-field problems. He's gotten that straight. I'm confident of that for now. You know, talking to Coach Craig, he's been a leader in these Zoom meetings. He's working out. I think when he comes back, I feel good about our offensive line. The reason I feel good about our offensive line is because of James Craig and the job he's done.
That's true.
They get here, he's going to be developed. We have an NFL coach on the offensive line. We're lucky to have Coach Craig.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember when he was hired, Joe Barksdale, who longtime NFL vet, told me that's the best O-line coach that he's ever played for, and look what Craig's gone on to do. So speaking of that, Coach, How's the quarantine training going? You get the extra hours. I think it's now up to 8 hours a week. You meet with guys. How are coaches? How are y'all continuing to evolve and adapt to the current demands?
Yeah, the 8 hours of Zoom meetings, that gave our guys a lot of work on fundamentals, a lot of work on install. We've kept the same installation schedule as we would have in the spring, so everything is in. I mean, we've
Wow.
got it all in. And then last week, our guys had a chance to go back and work on ongoing skill development. I give you an example. Defensive line worked on pass rush. Offensive line worked on pass sets. Receivers worked on their routes and their releases. So everybody got a chance to go back and look at their individual film and get better at it. Now, this week is a dead week. Our guys are getting ready for finals. It's dead week this week and next week. So now our coaches are going to work hard on recruiting today and tomorrow. It's going to be a big day. I will talk to every top recruit and their parents today and tomorrow. The guys that I didn't talk to on Saturday night, I talked to a lot of them on the draft. And then we're going to start preparing for next year's opponent. And we're going to get ahead. We're going to listen to what the governor has to say today. I don't know when we'll come back to work, but obviously we're going to follow his rules.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can come back to work soon and get things back to normal,
You made your first comments last week on Jabril Cox, a graduate transfer, another one that you're bringing down to this program. You guys have been so successful in that trail, and you've taken a linebacker position, Coach, that just 2.5 months ago when the season ended, that looked like a position of concern, to now with adding Cox and even Devontae Lee to that mix, to a position that looks like it's got real healthy competition. How do you feel about that spot going into the fall?
I feel good. I feel good about Jabril, and just talking to some NFL scouts, they thought that he was perhaps a first-round pick if he came out. And in our mind, he was the number one graduate transfer. So here we go again. We got another graduate transfer to come and help our football team.
Yeah.
I feel good about DeMar Clark. I feel great about Marcel Brooks, Michael Baskerville, Ray Thornton. And then let's put his name now, Josh White, a freshman linebacker out of Texas, who I think is going to play for us or may start for us. So both done a tremendous job with these linebackers, getting them ready. I think we're very talented. They just got to learn the defense.
The reigning national champions, the LSU Tigers, dominated the
Sounds
NFL
good.
draft weekend. And the best coach in America, Coach Ed Orgeron, checking in with us here on this Monday morning, talking about what's next. We always appreciate it, Coach. Stay healthy, and we'll talk soon.
Hey, I just want to say hello to all our great fans out there, man. We miss y'all, but hey, we're coming. Go Tigers.
Yes, sir.